Hello, everyone. You have made it to the last class. Are you feeling excited?
Yay!
Yay, good job. Well, it looks like we still have a couple people hopping on, but so the itinerary for this class doesn't follow what you received because we wanted to make this market center specific and talk about a lot of the day-to-day questions that we receive here at the front desk or agent services or in the MCA department. So since we are combining classes, I'm also including Excel information in this. So I'll kind of be bouncing back and forth. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to stop me. You could take yourself off of mute and I will do my best to watch the chat as well. So we will plow through this. We might get done a little bit early today, but we'll have time for questions at the end and aha. So what I wanted to go over first was the staff. And oops, let me share my screen. How about that? Share this with you. Maybe. There, can everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so what I wanted just to hit upon first is all of our staff and exactly what they do. And hopefully that will help direct you all when you have questions, because I know sometimes it just gets really confusing as far as who can be doing what. So I want to start off with the OP position, and at Excel, that is Kelly Ann Harris. And what the OP does for the Market Center, a big part of their job is setting the vision. They assist the team leader with recruiting, and they help to grow the profit share for the agents. The team leader is Tabitha Gussler. The team leader's primary function is to grow the Market Center. They help assist the OP with their vision, and they coach the top 20% agents. They conduct training, and they grow profit share. The MCA, I am currently the MCA at Excel and Cap Partners, and my job is to help assist the team leader and the OP with the vision of the Market Center, oversee the commissions and finances for the Market Center, building operations. So anytime at Excel or at Cap Partners, if you're having an issue with the building, whether it's the heat, a lock issue, a light is out, anything like that, you can email me directly. At Excel, you're going to reach out to Emily, and she will reach out to the property management staff there and get something addressed for if you need that. I also handle the day-to-day overall operations for the Market Center, and my department serves the middle agents and their businesses. At Excel, the assistant MCA is Emily Manganello, and here at Cap Partners, it's Joanne Rasmussen, and they process the commissions and opportunities. So they strictly pay those out and do all the work that you need to get the opportunities turned in. They also process Earnest Money. They assist me with reports and any support that I might need, and also compliance questions. They can field some of those as well. Agent services, Rachel Vaughn is currently sharing her time at Excel. And what she does is she meets all of the agent needs, whether it's a transactional or a technical issue. So she teaches classes, and I know she's currently teaching 6 technology classes a month. So she is our tech guru and representative to the region. She onboards all new agents and conducts orientation. So what's key to Rachel also and the team leader is Rachel can also field in any referrals if you have a new agent that you're interested in joining. Acceler Cap Partners, you can reach out to her, and she does a lot of connecting with them to get them set up and ready to join. She also helps coordinate agent events, and she will help agents with their website and their profiles. And she can assist with questions in .loop and Command for Excel, and then DocuSign for Cap Partners. Emily is also kind of dual as far as assistant MCA and the director of first impressions. So she also will assist agents with onboarding at Excel. She is able to take new agent referral information. The director of first impressions also provides a lot of support to the agents and the staff. They coordinate a lot of events, including scheduling of classes in the calendar, and they also sort mail. Josh Nungesser is the productivity coach. He focuses on business strategies. A lot of times the bulk of his clientele are the new agents, but also if you're in the middle and you're needing some help with business strategies, he would love to help you out with that. He provides training and specializes in lead generation. And then for the broker, we have Joanne Figge at Excel. She handles clauses, contractual explanations, legal issues, and compliance. So the leadership staff, yeah.
Can you?
Question?
I'm sorry. Does Josh's productivity coaching is that a paid for thing? Is that something that he supplies to all the agents for free of charge, or how does that work exactly?
So typically, the productivity coach will add on 10% to the split that you're currently on, which just helps you cap faster. So it comes through the company dollar that you generate. So ultimately you do pay for that until you either cap or your first anniversary is met. But he would be more than happy to sit down and go over the specifics. He does have a contract that he has all of his clients sign, so he would be able to go over that with you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so at Capital Partners, Brian Kemp is the operating principal. He is also acting as interim team leader. That position is vacant currently. I am the MCA here. Joanne Rasmussen is the assistant MCA. We have Josh also doing productivity coaching on Thursdays over here. And Josh is available. When he bounces in between the two offices, he is available to clients by phone all the time. So don't feel that if he's not here, you cannot reach him. The other thing is that I also alternate between offices, and so do Rachel. So if you don't see us here, that doesn't mean that we're not working. We're working somewhere. And it could even be at home. Joanne and I alternate days due to COVID. We implemented that earlier this summer because it is so critical that you get paid. We were thinking that it might be the best policy to keep us separated so that if somebody were to contract the COVID virus, it wouldn't be both of us at the same time, and we wouldn't be jeopardizing all the financial business of the market center. So as always, if we're not physically here in the building, you can reach us. Rachel is also the director of agent services, sharing her services both places, and it is the same. You can reach her via cell if she is not at your market center. And our director of first impressions is Elise Ogden at Cap Partners. And we have an associate broker, Jill Ferguson, who also assists Lori, who is our principal broker. So the next set of things that I wanted to talk about are things that we see frequently, and I just want to make sure that there's a good understanding here, because I feel like this is a lot of stuff that happens behind the curtains that isn't always communicated to everybody, and there's not a very clear picture. So I thought this would be a great time to talk about that. So, so once you go into contract, it's really important to submit your opportunity in command within 3 days. And the reason why this is so important, and we have a lot of agents sometimes that will submit it before they get paid. And the reason why we like to see it within the 3 days is that every agent contributes to company dollar. And company dollar is the contribution that is used to budget and cover the market center expenses. So, and able to budget and appropriate that accordingly, that is something that we track all month long. And fortunately, both market centers are profitable, but it just it helps us to budget what we can include in that month, which is also really important for profit share. The other thing when you pull in your opportunities is we use the opportunity information for reports that we are using weekly in the market center. So those reports include contracts written, contract volume, listings taken, and then the company dollar we're projecting could be even for the next 60 and 90 days. And then we also like to take a look at how much company dollar we've closed for the month. So some other important information that I wanted to share regarding your opportunity. It is super helpful, and I highly encourage you when you start an opportunity to title that by the address. A lot of times if agents include it by the clients' names, it's really hard to find because we don't always have that information handy. Sometimes you can list it and we can find it under the actual agent or owner name, but really it is quite the simplest form to just type in the street number and address, and we can find it very quickly that way. And I wanted to talk about a referral. A lot of times we have questions on referrals and how those are to be conducted. So market center lingo, as we call an inside referral, is a referral that you're sharing with an inside agent. So when you're filling out the opportunity, you can list them as agent B. There isn't a specific referral classification, but you just list them as agent B, and if they get 25%, then you just list their portion as 25%, and then agent A, which would be you, would receive 75%. So an outside referral is if you are receiving a commission from an outside agency. And a lot of times those will come in via mail. So during that process, you will need to have uploaded in your referral opportunity the agreement and a W-9. And the reason why we need that W-9 is for tax purposes. And we cannot pay those referrals out without it. So that is very, very important. For capital partners, you can find the current year W-9 form in DocuSign under the KW274 forms. And we upload those every year in January. And for Excel, if you need a W-9, you can reach out to Emily and she'll send that to you. Another question that we often have is if you have a team split, a lot of newer agents will just ask us how that is entered in, and it is listed as agent A and B, or if you're on a team and you could even have an agent C. And if you're not sure how to complete the opportunities, I know at Excel, a lot of you are still learning. And then here at Cap Partners, we have new agents that are coming in, and I highly encourage you to attend one of the 6 tech classes that Rachel offers every month and get in on an opportunity class before you have your first transaction. The other important piece of information is on your opportunity when you pull it through the pipeline. So you'll have the offer or the document, and then you'll have an offer. You have to submit the offer to get to the commissions tab, and it's really important that you submit the commission to the market center. If you don't submit that commission to the market center, we have no way of knowing how to pay you. And the other piece is a lot of times people will have questions for us regarding what your commission says in command is not always accurate, not what you think it should be. So I want to let you know that we actually have another system that we pay out of, and that's called Win More. So command, when you enter your opportunity, has no idea when you're going to close that transaction. So it's always going to calculate your company dollar and your royalty. So sometimes, and I had a lot of questions last week about, well, my command says this, did I get paid more or less? And it's because those two systems do not speak to each other. But in order for us to pull your information in, you have to submit your commission so we can get it into our payment system so it's ready when you finally close. Another thing is if you have a change in your commission, and those changes include the date has been pushed to the following month, you have a price change, you have a split change, or your contract is terminated, needs to come to the MCA department. And typically you need to let Emily or Joanne know that. And the reason for that, again, is we want to make sure, A, that you're being paid correctly, and it also affects all of our reports and what we're anticipating for the month. Oops. The other thing for an opportunity is referrals. So when the referrals come in from an outside agency, we need to make sure that you are creating an opportunity, and this is really important for your records. We can process the payment without the opportunity, but if you ever need to go back and refer to that for any reason, it is important that you have the documentation there as far as your payments and your paperwork. And the easiest way to do the referral opportunity is to title it with your client name. And if you happen to know the city and state, include that. I know a lot of times you don't know that, but so I would entitle it, just say Smith referral until you get those other pieces of information. And then when you do get those, you can add them later into the detail section of your opportunity. But that just helps us find it and expedite it when we receive the check. The other helpful thing is to let the front desk know. So it would be Emily for Excel and Elise for Cap Partners. If you're expecting a referral to come in, a lot of times when the outside agencies send the referrals in, it's just a check. There's not always an address, and there most definitely isn't an agent name. So sometimes you will see those emails that we're going out trying to find the owner of that commission. So if you are expecting something and you know it's coming in, the more information you can supply will help us get that to you quickly. The other thing to help expedite your commission payments is to place all your documents in the correct placeholders. Sometimes people will group everything, they'll just upload it all into one file. And it is much quicker and faster if you separate them out individually. And then usually you'll have to just upload them one by one. But in the end, it helps us to process it a lot faster. And it also helps compliance to look at it much quicker. Again, notify the assistant MCA of any changes. And if you ever have a termination, it is the only time currently that you will have to fill out a green sheet. I know they're still working on that piece of it in command. But if it is terminated, you will go back to the old way and just fill out a green sheet for that. Do you guys have any questions on opportunities and anything that I've went over? Earnest money and procedures for that. So at Capital Partners and Excel, we just ask that you request your earnest money in a timely manner so that we can expedite getting that back to you. We can receive it as early as you are aware, but we do not cut the checks more than 5 business days before your closing. Earnest money deposit and request forms have to be filled out every time you deposit or request earnest money. Those forms for Excel are found in .loop currently. And for Capital Partners, they are in DocuSign under the KW CP274 forms. Also, both front desks do have additional deposit and request forms if you happen to be in the office and you're dropping that off, or in the office and you want to request earnest money. And just a reminder, if you have a termination, your client must sign a mutual release, and the broker also has to sign that before we can refund the money. If you're dropping off earnest money, Excel has a mailbox right outside the MCA office. And at Capital Partners, we have 2 options. If you don't want to come into the building, there is the drop box, which is located to the left of the entry doors at the front of the building. There's also an orange folder at the front desk that says Earnest Money Deposits and Requests, and you can drop those off to Elise at Capital Partners. After we get done processing the checks, the earnest money, you've requested it, and you're going to close in 5 days. We currently are putting those in your mailbox just to decrease the amount of contact with the front desk. So, and that is at Excel and Cap Partners. Any questions on earnest money? So the next thing I wanted to touch on was compliance. And you may reach out to Excel's compliance via KW Excel review at kw.com. At Cap Partners, we have a virtual compliance officer. But if you have questions about your compliance, you can also reach out to Joanne. She is super knowledgeable and she can field a lot of those questions. And if she can't, she will send that on to the compliance officer. So one thing that I wanted to show you, I did a little picture here on the screen, which just shows you a lot of times people don't realize that when you have a message from compliance or the MCA department, you will have a little red dot. So when you're in your opportunity and you see those, you want to check those so that you can get all the communication that you need. Those little red dots will also show up via your Kelly app as an alert message. So you can get them both ways. And I would recommend you periodically check your opportunity for approval updates, just in case you're missing those messages. It usually takes about 48 hours for them to approve everything. So if there's an item that is missing or something that somebody needs, you can stay up to date on that by just rechecking it until you see the green approved message. And then that means you are good to go. And don't forget to submit your listing to compliance within 24 hours so it can also go through the approval process. And again, I know I keep saying this, but it really is so helpful if you upload your documents to the correct placeholders. So again, we just want to get you guys paid as fast as we can. So any questions on compliance? So the other thing that I wanted to talk about was how to read your DA, which is also called a disbursement authorization. So the best way to review these is you're going to find them in command under contracts, and then you'll receive a notification that it's been uploaded. And the important piece of this is if for some reason there's an error, and we'll see this a lot of times, if there's a referral missing, or you have submitted a change. You can catch any mistakes early on. And I know here in the MCA department, we appreciate that immensely, because once the commission has been processed, it makes it a little harder to go back and correct everything, because we have to open things up and then sometimes retrieve money, or we owe somebody extra money. And we always want to just, again, keep that as quick as we possibly can. So the first DA that I have pulled up that I wanted to show you and just walk through is a traditional commission for an agent on a 70-30 split. So if you all can follow along with me, in the top right-hand corner of the DA, you will see the sales price. So that is the sales price of your transaction. The commission is figured on, in this instance, it is 3%. So the 233,500 times 3% equals 7,500. So if you go further on down to the DA, on the left-hand side there in the boxes, you will see that this agent's commission, which is also called GCI, which stands for gross commission income, and gross are the same thing. Their gross commission income was $7,005. They are currently on a 70-30 split, meaning 30% comes to the market center for company dollar, 70% stays with them. So in this instance, $7,005, 30% of that is $2,101.50. 70% is located there at the associate commission, which is $4,903.50. The other key piece is over to the left there below the check amount. The associate split is 70% and the royalty split is 100%. It is important when you review your preliminary DA, just make sure that associate split is correct. Sometimes if you're in coaching, in this instance, if this person was in coaching, it may say 60%. So that's just a key thing. Or if you're on a team, that can also vary. But just double check that and make sure that you're getting the right amount of money. So the associate royalty on the right-hand side of the box says $420.30. This is 6% of your gross commission, or your GCI. This is required to be sent to Keller Williams International. So, and the cap on the associate royalty is $3,000. So once you've met that royalty cap, that will say 0. So the net commission, or the associate check, down on or over on the right hand side, is the amount of $4,483.20. So that is the $7,005 minus the royalty, minus the minus the company commission, which is located right underneath your associate check. So those two numbers are going to come out. Where you see pay to KW, that is the company dollar and the royalty combined. And then the written volume is the percentage of the sales price. So in this instance, it's the full amount there. Any question on the really simple DA? Do you guys feel comfortable in reading this? Yes. Okay. This is so important because this is your money. And it is really important to us to make sure that you understand how you receive your money and what you should receive. So anytime you see a discrepancy on this, or you're not feeling comfortable or not understanding it, please reach out to any one of us in the MCA department, and we would be happy to go over it and give you a further explanation. So if you're on a team, this looks a little different. So again, in the top right-hand corner, you're going to have the sales price in this instance is $250,000. 3% of that equals $7,500, which is the total commission due from this transaction. When you see unit, this one says 0.35 because that is the team split that this agent is receiving. So of the 7,500, 35% of that amount is the gross commission for, let's say, agent B, $2,625. In the box below that, it says outside. That is the amount that that agent owed for the referral. So down at the bottom, you'll see Homes for Heroes. That was their portion that was paid to them for that referral. So if you have a referral and it's an outside referral, you'll see that number there. The referrals always come off the top of the gross commission. So once we deduct the referral amount of $525, your GCI in this case is $2,100. So this agent is on an 80% split. So 80% of that commission, or $1,680, goes to that agent. And then if you move over to the right-hand column, the 6% royalty will come off the $2,100 of the gross commission. And in this case is $126. So the net commission to the agent minus their royalty and company dollar is $1,554. So again, company commission is the amount of company dollar that the agent is paying. Pay to KW is the company dollar and the royalty. And in this instance, the sale price was $250,000. That agent receives 35% credit of the volume, which coincides with their split. So their written, closed, and adjusted volume is $87,500 in this instance. Any questions on a team split? So I wanted to touch base on commission checks. Currently, we are still asking that the title company overnight or the checks be hand delivered to Capital Partners and Excel. Now, Excel is a much smaller office, so some title companies are wiring the commission. We are not doing that here at Capital Partners yet. There's just some logistics with a market center this size that I'm not feeling comfortable with on both sides of the transaction. So you're going to have title companies that are pushing the issue, and I'm more than happy to talk to them also, but we just are not set up for that. A big part of it for us on this side is we get so many deposits in a day that if there's a discrepancy, it slows the process down because we can't just send back that ACH amount. We have to actually cut a check, and it's just a little bit more cumbersome. In Excel, really, their amount of wires is very small right now. For faster processing, if you're personally bringing in a check, if you write your name on that check, that helps us to find it. And as I talked about before, sometimes if the opportunity is not listed by the address, we can search by the name. So obviously, the more information we have, the better. If you have a split change, I see this with teams sometimes, if you have a split change and there's a change to that, I just ask that you write it on the stub and not use a sticky note, because if that sticky note gets separated from your stub and it gets stuck to something else, we have no idea, because again, we're basing off the information that's been pulled into our Win-More or payment system. And that's how the commission will just automatically calculate unless we manually change it. For both Excel and CAP Partners, the cutoff for daily commission processes is at 12 o'clock noon. If it is compliant, we process it that the same day. So you can either pick up a check late in the afternoon, or it'll be automatically deposited into your account, which will arrive the next morning. If it's Friday, it's typically Monday morning that you see that deposit. If it's after the cutoff, we try to do 48 hours, and that's to pay it out, and that's if it's compliant. The only time that this really seems to be an issue is if it's transmittal or it's a holiday. But you guys will obviously know that we'll be posting information for you to expect that. The other thing that I wanted to let you know is we just started a new process for referrals, is that we can send your referring agent an e-check. And an e-check is the exact same thing as a paper check, but it just arrives to the agent via an email address. And then they print that check out and they can take it to a bank. But with all the mail issues, we thought this would be much faster, and we know how important those referral transactions are to you and your business, and we don't want to avoid any delay in that referring agent receiving a payment. So if you want an e-check, just be sure to let us know, and we will also need the address of the appropriate party that is supposed to get the e-check. Any questions on commission payments? You guys are really quiet, or you all have got this down, which is great. So I wanted to go over a few office specifics. So both offices open at 8:30 and close at 5:30. At Excel, the front doors when you come into the main building are unlocked at 8:30, and then they lock at 5:30. At Excel, you can get a key fob from Emily if you don't already have one. And there's a entry door on the west side of the building that if you need to get in before 8:30 or after 5:30, you can use your key fob to get in. At Capital Partners, our reception area is open from 8:30 to 5:30. Our front entry doors unlock at 6 a.m. or 8 a.m. and they lock at 6 p.m. And if you are wanting to get into the office before 8 or after 6, you will need your key card from that. And Rachel is the person that can get you a key card. Or if you lose your key card and need another one or a key fob, you need to see Emily and Rachel to get those. At CAP Partners, we have alarms here at the building that have to be shut off before 7 a.m. if you enter the building before 7 a.m. and after 11 a.m. So those alarms are located on the first floor near the receptionist desk, and they're actually right across from the kitchen. Elise has a little card at the front desk that has the alarm instructions in the code on it if you need one of those. So I suggest you might want to get one of those just in case. I've had a lot of people, especially with COVID, they may show up to the CAP Partners office at 11 and the alarm will go off because nobody has been in prior to that. So it is really important just to have it on hand. So if the alarm goes off here at CAP Partners, I usually get a call, and it is a very loud alarm, and they will dispatch the police. So we want to avoid that at all costs if we can. The alarm on the second floor at CAP Partners is at the top of the stairs. You go left and you go past that receptionist desk into that hallway, and you will find the second floor alarm there. You can shut the alarms off for the entire building, or the code may request like first floor shut off or second floor shut off, just depending on where you're at. But I recommend just turning off the alarm for the whole building. We do have conference rooms available at both offices. At Capital Partners, you can actually book the conference room yourself through kwcapitalpartners.skeda.com. You can also email or call Elise and she will book a conference room for you. And at Excel, if you'd like to book a conference room, you could call Emily. I know with COVID, we don't have too many agents coming in for the multi-agent space, but I wanted to let you know that when we get some relief from the virus, that there is agent space available. At Capital Partners, we have multi-agent space where you can share a large office with up to 4 other agents. And that does come with a locking desk, and that price is $90. And at Excel, it's more of like a cubicle space outside the common area. If you would like to rent that desk space, it's $99. And then at both offices, we do have private office space available if that's something that you are interested in. You can reach out to me directly if you would like to obtain an office, or even talk to the team leader. So I wanted to talk about getting plugged in and all the areas where you can find information. I know a lot of times they go over this during orientation, even a lot of this information that I'm covering today, but we understand that it is like drinking from a fire hose, and sometimes it's good just to have a refresher. If you are not a member of Facebook, I highly encourage you to request to be added. Currently, this has been, and especially with the COVID virus, has been a hotspot for us to post all of our important information. So at both market centers, we have a public and a private page. A lot of the private information may be very specific classes or a very specific agent-oriented update, celebrations, things of that nature. So at Keller Williams Capital Partners, Worthington is our public page. Keller Williams Excel Realty Inc. is their public page. KW Capital Partners is our private page. And Keller Williams Excel is our private page there. We also here at Capital Partners have a KW Capital Partners new agent page where Rachel will post a lot of helpful tidbits there for you as a new agent, and then also just reminders to keep you on task and schedule, calendar events, things like that for you to plug into. Both YouTube both Capital Partners and Excel have YouTube channels now. So we, with the virus, have been uploading all of our trainings, office meetings, anything that's recorded can be found on our YouTube channel. So I highly recommend that if you're seeking something out, it's a great place to find that. So the subscription for Capital Partners is KW Capital Partners, and for Excel is Keller Williams Excel Realty. Both market centers have Instagram pages. You can find Cap Partners at KW Cap Partners and Excel at KW Excel Realty. We also have calendar links for you to plug into market center events. They have printed copies at the front desk also if you're in the market center and you want to grab one. The only recommendation that I make is if you grab a printed copy from the front desk, you may want to just check back before the event that you're interested in to make sure there have been no changes. Obviously, as they change, they replace those, but sometimes we do have changes throughout the month. Your calendar link can be found in your Gmail Google account. There are some little squares at the right-hand corner of your Gmail, and one of those says calendar. And if you press on those, that should automatically plug everything into your calendar. So it's always there at a glance and current with the events. If you go into the drive and you want to find the calendar, Capital Partners is KWCP Calendar for All, and Excel's is titled Excel Monthly Calendar. The other thing that I've had questions on is agent contact info and agents that are searching for contact information for other agents. So currently you can go into the white pages under mykw.kw.com, and you can search in the white pages for another agent. Less is better. So if you could just keep it to a last name to search for them, and then add in any other information as you need to, but I typically just use last name because a lot of times it won't find that person if there's too much information. But again, if you ever need help with that, let us know. And I am going to switch screens and show you in my command. If you go to your referrals here, and then click map, you want to find another agent, you can put in, and I will just use Worthington. And then if I go over here to search results, and let's say I want to look for Jill Riddler, if I know her last name, I can put that in. She'll pop up, and I believe it says you can add her to your contacts. So that is also another way to search for agents. And I understand it's just fresh out on the press that I believe White Pages is going to be moving over into Command very soon. And Command's going to be slow. But I believe it pulls up with her contact information, and then it says you can follow her. You can add them to your Command contacts as well. Any questions on that? You can also ask Kelly for contact information as well. So I just wanted to show you a picture of the calendars and what they look like. These are color coded by both market centers. They look very similar. So if you're looking for a top 20% event, you're going to find that in black. There are links on your calendars as well. Over to the right, there's a little information section that gives you a little bit more detail about the class. So these are great, and great things to plug into, obviously, are always the tech, your group coaching sessions with Josh, if you're in those, the office meetings, and committee meetings. So I know we're coming up on 2021. So if you would like to join a committee and be a part of that, you'll find your committee meeting dates on there as well. CEs are also on the calendar. So quite a bit of information if you want to plan out your week or month. So that's really all that I have to cover. I wanted to just talk about AHA, since you have made it through 11 classes, and what you've enjoyed the most out of Ignite. Anybody want to share? Well, if you guys are able to, I know we've had a lot of great instructors over the last 10 classes. So if you had a favorite instructor or there was any suggestions to make Ignite better, feel free to email me and I will get that out to the instructors and our career development committee. And we would love to just make it better. And I know January, starting in January, I think we are looking to confirm the dates, but we're going to have Ignite Spark, which will be a little bit more different information, but you can attend any of the Ignites anytime as a refresher course. So Thank you all very much for coming, and I hope you have a great day and you get an extra hour and 10 minutes.
Thanks, Renee.
Do you have any time after this to have a brief conversation by any chance?
Absolutely. Yep, you
Okay.
can just call me directly.
Okay. Do you have? Can you give me that number real quick?
Yeah, I'm at 614-431-1692.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'll call you in here in a sec.
Okay, thank you all for coming today.
Thank you for this.
Bye-bye. Capital Partners, this is Renee. Hi. Right.